Welcome back to the Couch Potato Show. Me and the boys are back again for episode 46. We're almost to 50. We're getting there. Almost been a year.
Slowly.
Back for episode 46. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot of MLB news. Game of the year last night. But first, let's get into the picks we had from last week. Just the Martinsville race. Frank took home the win there, first win of the year for any of us, with Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney for me, and Denny Hamlin for Eric did not come up to the checkered flag. So unfortunately, Frank got 3 on us. The updated score, if you give me 2 seconds, Eric's still at 61, and then me and Frank are tied at 59. So we're getting close.
It's tight.
It's getting spicy here because we got some more NASCAR races in this new points format that we're doing, so we can somebody automatically will get a point, at least 1 point every weekend for that. Got more UFC coming up this summer. Golf tournaments are starting back up. We just had the Masters. The NFL draft is coming up.
Yep.
So that's going to be big.
NBA draft is coming up. Not really.
Not really. But
kind of.
A little bit. So yeah, let's get into picks for this week. This week we are back with the UFC. Eric will give us a little preview for that in a second, as I sure hope he would. And then on Sunday we have the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond. We'll start off with that. Frank, you're our leader, so who you got?
I'm going to take Kyle Busch. He's won twice here in 2018. He's had a little bit of a slow start. I haven't really seen him race pretty well. That's true for a lot of like the big name racers this year. It's a lot of like random winners this year, but hopefully Kyle can come through for me this time.
Yeah, we've had a lot of weird winners to start the year, and then as we progress, we've kind of gotten back into the swing of things with the more common front runners winning races. Truex just won his second race of the year, so we're getting more into the drivers are learning how to deal with this season now, and I think they figured it out. So we're getting a little bit more normal. Eric, Richmond, who you got?
I'm going to take Joey Logano. I like your guys' analysis. I think some bigger names will start winning. Obviously, it's still unpredictable, but I don't know. I like Logano here. It's also strategic. You got to save some racers you like for some later races.
A lot of short tracks.
Yeah, I'll run up Logano this time.
Yeah, so there is a lot of strategy in what we're doing for picks, because for anybody that doesn't know, we split the schedule into super speedways, which would be Daytona, Talladega, speedways, which is tracks over 1.5 miles that aren't Daytona or Talladega, and then short tracks, which are under 1.5 miles, and then road courses, which is pretty self-explanatory. And we can only pick a driver once for each category. So there's 4 categories. So it provides some strategy that we're starting to.
That's why I took Busch, because I knew you couldn't take Busch.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting to get into the point in the season where strategy is going to be tough with these races, because
it's going to be a lot of random, like,
really got to plan it out.
Yeah.
So, this was a pick that I was debating on for a long time. Obviously, I messed up earlier. I wish I had saved my Kyle Busch pick, and not picked him for Phoenix and saved him for this week, because Kyle Busch owns Richmond. But obviously I did not do that. So this week I'm going to take Denny Hamlin. I think he'll finally get that first win of the year, where he's been running second or third literally every single week. One of those drivers where he's going to win eventually, but when does he do it? I think he does it this week at Richmond. He's usually had good runs here, so I think he finally gets it done. I also want to save my other guys for later when they're actually like really favored to win. So that also played into it. Eric, you got a little UFC preview: Whitaker versus Gastelum, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, it's Kelvin Gastelum, and he is taking on
Almost.
close.
So close. Pronunciation's not a thing.
Yeah, he lost 3 out of his last 4. When he starts winning some fights, we'll give Kelvin Gastelum more love in the pronunciation department.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, he's taking on Robert Whitaker. Whitaker coming off arguably the most impressive performance in UFC history on ABC One versus a guy who's known for his stand-up, up-and-coming Calvin Kattar. And Whitaker just freaking picked him apart. It's crazy. Oh, Jesus Christ, I am tired. That was fucking that was Max Holloway.
Yeah, I was
Completely
gonna say.
Yeah, this is a train wreck. But yes, Whitaker looked great in his last fight. That's the connection here. He versus Jared Cannonier. He looked fantastic. Same sort of dominance performance. Both of really the similarities between Holloway and Whitaker's stand-up style are just fantastic. They know how to strike tactfully. Let me tell you something. Jake Paul wouldn't stand a chance against these MMA fighters. They throw combinations, right? And not just like boom, one and then out of the pocket. They stand there. They know what they're doing. What were you saying?
Did you win last night?
I think they're fighting tonight.
He fought? Who's he fighting?
Ben Askren, former UFC fighter. But here's the thing, guys. Because listen, no one else is going to tell you this. I'll get back to the pick in a second, but no one else is going to tell you this. Ben Askren is and I love Ben Askren, one of my top 5 fighters ever. Love his personality, love his wrestling. I'm a wrestling guy. Fantastic. Very funny guy. Loves cryptocurrencies. He checks all the boxes.
It's your kind of guy.
Exactly. But he can't strike. He couldn't outbox Tyler Maines, people. This guy can't box. Yeah, listen, okay, probably. But I have minimal boxing experience, and I wouldn't. This is my sincere thought. I wouldn't be scared to box him. I just wouldn't. I think I'd lose, right? He's a professional fighter.
Sure.
But the guy's a wrestler.
You won't be scared you're going to get your teeth knocked out. So that's something.
Yeah. But I don't know. The point is, Ben Askren does not represent MMA. And Jake Paul surely doesn't represent boxing. He represents like the
celebrity boxing.
Yeah, what a nice way to say it. Good job, Tyler. You're like my PR guy.
Thank you.
I don't know. That'll be an interesting fight. Ben Askren's probably gonna win, but he's the underdog. My friends who are older might put some money on it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Whitaker's great at the stand-up. Gastelum's really well-rounded, but I think Whitaker's too long. He's not gonna be able to get in the clinch and take him down. I really just see Whitaker picking him apart for 5 rounds or until Kelvin Gastelum gives up. I just think his stand-up is on another level. I think we're going to get that Adesanya-Whitaker matchup, which is good for Israel Adesanya. Coming off of that loss to Blachowicz, you want something interesting. And on a global level, Robert Whitaker, Australia's guy, competing against Israel Adesanya is such a great global market. I feel like that makes a lot of guys both money. It brings Adesanya's stock back up. I just think it's a matchup that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, for this, Gastelum wouldn't shock me, but he's got to grapple. He's got to have a real boring fight. But that being said, he also took Adesanya to the brink in the stand-up game. So he's scrappy, former member of Team Sonnen, the Ultimate Fighter. Well-rounded guy, but you got to go with Whitaker here. He's the more on the feet. It's not even close technique-wise. But yeah, long story short, give me Robert Whitaker.
Frank, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take Whitaker. Like Eric said, he's hotter. He's coming off way better performances. And I just I don't think it's going to be a fight. I agree there. I don't think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go Whitaker.
Yeah, usually I tend to get fancy and pick the guys that I can't pronounce their names, but I'm going to stay safe this time. I'm going to go Robert Whitaker just because, just like Eric said, so well-rounded. He covers every facet of MMA, and he's better than Gastelum at pretty much everything. So I don't think there's anything that he can really outdo Whitaker in. So I got Whitaker in the fight. So let's get to some news that we've had this week, or not really news, but more just
headlines
that we would like to cover. The Boston Red Sox are in first place in the AL East. The Kansas City Royals are in first place in the AL Central. And the Seattle Mariners are in first place in the AL West. Just let that set in for a second. That's all I wanted to do.
Talk to me in a month. Talk to me in 2
Listen,
months.
it is early. It is early.
It's extremely early.
And this headline that I wrote down is more towards the AL East and the Red Sox right now, because the AL East is a problem, because you have the Rays and the Blue Jays, who for a fact are going to be good baseball teams. They weren't favored to win the division, so they don't have as much pressure on. The Rays have a little bit more pressure because they're just coming off a pennant, but they don't really have that added pressure to them.
Even for the Rays, I don't think the Rays ever have any pressure. It's just like the Rays,
It's a totally different team too.
They're just the Rays. Like, there's something about, like, they got a little, like, mojo going over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Anyway, and then you have the Yankees, who favored to win the division by a good amount.
Favored to win the American League, by
favored to win the American League. Some say could beat the Dodgers in the World Series when we were looking at the beginning of the season. But they have been terrible, and I know we talked about it last week, and since then it's only gotten worse. I think winning percentage through however 13 games it is.
5 and 8 is 13. Yes.
13 games. Winning percentage, on base percentage, batting average, ERA, pretty much any stat you can think of that actually matters. Worst since 1989, in which the Yankees finished in last place in the division. So, time to panic for the Yankees?
I'm going to say no, especially with the Yankees lineup. When you stack a lineup with 7 or 8, like, strictly home run hitters, you're going to have, like, spans of games like this one where you go, like, 20 games and no one can hit. For me, I'm most worried about the starting pitching and the absence of length in any capacity if your name isn't Garrett Cole. Because you can't play, like, especially now because we're playing a full season, you can't have your starters giving you 4 or 5 innings and expect your bullpen to either pitch well or pitch deep into the season and even into the playoffs, because we know the Yankees are going to be around in the playoffs. So you can't expect to win playoff. Well, we're not panicking yet, Tyler. There's 12 games in. There's 150 games left. So I think that starting pitching is the main issue. I think they need to go trade for someone that not even like that'll shut teams down. They just need length out of someone, because Corey Kluber isn't going to give it to you. Jamison Tyon's coming off 2 Tommy Johns. Monty I like, but he's never he can eat up innings, but he always has those, like, dud games. It's basically just Garrett Cole and everybody else, and you can't expect to win 100 games, make it to the playoffs, and go far in the playoffs if you have to pitch your bullpen for 5 innings every single game.
Eric?
I'll counter that a bit, Frank, because I agree with you. That's my mindset. However, you really don't have too many starting pitchers that eat innings anymore. That's just what it seems like to me. You just see it so much less often, which is fine. That's the way the game's going. That's the way all games are going, right? The NBA, you got load management. Unless you're playing for Tom Thibodeau, you're going to have the night off once in a while. RJ Barrett played 46 minutes yesterday. That's not even a joke. He played 46 minutes. I can't stand up for 46 minutes. It's ridiculous. But to answer the question, little early, but as you guys know, I'm a numbers guy. It's all circuitry and wires under here. I don't run on emotion. You know how it is.
Yep.
Here's a stat for you. Yankees are 25th in runs as of now. Early, right? We can all agree on that. It's early. But I'm so accustomed within the past 5 to 6 seasons of this Yankee offense just being sort of great. And, it's part of it's the number thing, a hitting coach, whatever you want to chalk it up to, frickin' the short right porch, whatever. But I think once we see that rate, it's such a stupid, simple point, but we score more runs, we win more games. That's our bread and butter.
The Yankees are an offensive team.
We
Mhm.
always will be. Just as the Devils are a defensive team, that jersey signifies Scott Stevens, Martin Brodeur. This jersey, Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, right? It just
It's
sort
the
of
Bombers.
like how it is. Honestly. So we score more runs. We're gonna start winning more games, and I'll put my reputation on the line. We're finishing top half of the league in runs. We have to. I'd even say top 10. Pretty
This
easy.
offense is too talented
Yeah.
not to be in the top 10 in runs scored or home runs or something. There's just too much talent here. I'm not worried about it.
And this is not a small sample size, people. Back with the 162 game season, it's happening. And they'll get in the top 10. I know.
Now, if you ask me in a 60 game season, am I worried? I think they finished third in a 60 game season, and then I'm worried. But I'm not worried in 162 games.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty fair. It's pretty fair.
Because if this was a 60 game season like it was last year, we'd basically be one quarter through the season already.
Yeah.
It'd be 15 games as one quarter. So then I'd be worried. Then we have to do something. But I think the season's too long to panic this early.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of a little bit of both. I know that eventually the runs are the bats are going to come around. The runs will come. The home runs will find their way. So I don't have any doubt in the fact that the Yankees will finish at near the top of the league when it's all said and done in terms of runs scored. But that pitching and the bullpen is just it's not good. I mean,
Well, the bullpen's good. They just get way overused.
making them hard. It's hard for somebody.
It's hard to pitch this because we're accustomed to the Yankees bullpen being like a top 5 bullpen in all of baseball because it is. That's just how it is. But when you pitch this much, it's impossible to have that level of consistency. You can't expect them to be that consistent all the time. It's impossible.
I also need Aaron Boone to grow the fuck up. And I'm serious. He needs to grow the fuck up and realize that Michael King deserves a roster spot.
Holy shit, bro. It's so annoying. Just get rid of Herman. No one wants him on the freaking team. Nobody wants this dude.
Michael King needs a roster spot. Davy Garcia needs to have a roster spot. I don't care who you need to fucking let go. He needs to have.
Licky. I like Licky, but he's not.
Yeah, but the problem is if you're throwing out a Herman or a Gumby, a Titan.
No, we're keeping Gumby. I love Gumby.
Just hear me out. If you're throwing all them out there and they're only giving 4 2/3, 5 innings a start, 6 if you're lucky, you need a lot of bullpen help. And if you add get Davy in the bullpen, get some experience, and he'll eat up innings.
I wouldn't be opposed to having both Davy and Michael King in the bullpen, and honestly, just expecting like 4 or 5 innings out of our starting pitching, and then just piggybacking. I'm totally okay with that.
Because honestly, also, you're kind of wasting a spot in the bullpen with Chapman because we aren't using Chapman because there's no need to use him because we're not winning games.
Yeah.
So
they like Nick Nelson a lot. He didn't pitch well last night. I like Nick Nelson's stuff, but he's just not consistent enough. Lipke, they like because of the curveball.
Go down to AAA and find your consistency. You don't find your consistency in the Bronx. I'm sorry.
They like Licky a lot because of his curveball. I don't like Lipke. Trust me, I love a good lefty, but not a Lipke guy. I don't know. It's just so hard to. I think Aaron Boone needs to like. It's not Aaron Boone. It's the front office. The front office needs to stop with this like. Oh, we have to let guys pitch in the minor leagues. Screw that. I know you guys want to like keep your players for longer because it's service time stuff, but screw that. Get them up here. It's enough.
Also, grow some balls. Let fucking Loizaga go out there and eat 4 innings because he can. Don't take him out after 1, and then throw in a Nick Nelson or a Licky or whoever the fuck is going to give up the next 6 runs of the game. If he's in there, he goes 1, 2, 3, and when he gets out there, keep him in.
That is so something I can get on board with, because really everything in life, has a cause and effect, right? So if the cause is, or whatever, the original action, you can make this a fucking multiple choice quiz. If the starting pitcher pitches less innings, what should the relievers do? A, pitch 1 inning and fist bump when they get off, or B, eat up more fucking innings. Like, isn't it obvious when
Well, there are some pitchers that are just like 1 inning pitchers. Like Chapman's a 1 inning pitcher.
Yeah,
Britain's a 1 inning pitcher.
that's fine.
You have like Lasagna, Chad Green, and like all those guys. Those guys are multiple inning pitchers.
Yes, I do accept the 1 inning. Chapman's not fucking pitching 3 innings. That'd be a disaster.
Absolutely not.
I'm with you. But as to Mainz's point, and even as to your point, we have guys in our bullpen. Pitch them 3 innings. Pitch them 3 innings. Why not? If they look terrible, it's one thing. But it is just so incredibly quizzical that Loizaga could go out there, look like a beast for 4 outs, and then we'll be like, yeah, all right, I think that's it. I think we're done here. Like, really?
It's not like he hasn't done it before.
Not from that?
He's pitched multiple innings several times. So
how many innings we talking?
He used to pitch like 3 innings when he was in Sessa's role, where he was young and just threw him out there, and he pitched like 2 or 3 innings at a time. Now they're like, 1 1/3, done.
Who are we talking about again?
Loizaga.
Oh yeah, Loizaga came up as a starter.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like common sense at this point. It's common sense.
Loizaga, starter, came up as a starter. Nick Nelson has been a starter in the minor leagues this entire time. Sessa, starter in the minors.
He started for the Yankees for a little bit.
Licky was never really a starter.
No.
Who am I missing? King, starter. Davey, starter. I mean, you have all these guys that are starters that can give you six innings.
Yeah.
Taking them out if they want.
I do think it'll get better with because historically, just talk about the Yankees starting pitching, just like the names there. Corey Kluber, like historically, is really bad to start seasons.
Isn't Cole bad also to start season?
He's bad in terms of Garrett Cole. In terms of every other pitcher in the league, he's freaking incredible.
My point is, he gets better, right?
Yeah. Tyone injury, he'll build up his pitch count. No, I really like Tyone. I'm not worried about Tyone. Monty. You know what you're getting out of Monty.
Monty's still kind of figuring out his stuff after the injury.
A little bit, but you know what you're getting out of Monty. He's pretty straight. He's
a number 4 starter, which is fine. I like Monty, but yeah.
You're not a big Monty? I love Monty.
I like him, but what is he? Would you label him as a number 3? You could twist 4. My leg at a number 3. Yeah, it's fair.
He's a crafty lefty. He's a 4. That's definitely
he's a 3 on he's a 3 or a 2 on a shitty team.
Yes.
But on the Yankees, he's got to be a 4. If Monty is above your 4 starter, it's going to be a problem.
Yes, I completely agree. On a championship caliber team, that guy doesn't make the rotation. He's coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah,
come season time.
Well, that's why I think they should have pulled the trigger on a trade, not for like someone like Luis Castillo, because that was too high of an asking price, but they should have pulled a trade on someone besides Tyone. I like Tyone because he got 2 years of control, but I feel like we should have gotten, not 2 more injury-prone players. That's just my idea.
The Yankees really are that kid who saves their money from a young age, and really, like we say, they keep people in the minors. They are like so long-term thought.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
But it's this weird paradoxical effect where it's like championship now, but we must look after the future. So we could say this every season. It's like they want to come close, but not really win it. Like, but we want to be there every year, but we don't want to win it because then the dream's over.
It's bittersweet because, like, all of these past 3 or 4 years, they could have won a championship very easily if they wanted to.
If they went all in for one season,
every single year, they could have won a championship very easily. The problem is the Yankees prefer to. Now, obviously, they won't come out and say this, and they don't realize this themselves because obviously they're thinking championship every year. But the Yankees in reality would rather have 15 straight winning seasons than 2 championships and then 13 straight losing seasons.
It's so true because George, God rest his soul, but George Steinbrenner is not alive anymore. If George Steinbrenner was alive, and this is like the phrase uttered by every Yankee fan on earth, but if he was alive, my God, we'd have a championship or two as of recent. We really would.
Or we'd have an entire new staff every single season.
We might have 30 by now.
Yeah, but God, he would just freaking.
Yeah, it's what they'd rather be like in the ALDS and ALCS for like 4 straight seasons and never win than like win one championship and not make the playoffs either 3.
Yeah.
The problem is if the boss was still alive, we would not have Aaron Judge. We would not have Gleyber.
Absolutely not. He would have traded him as soon as he had any value.
Yeah. We would not have any of those guys. We would have Stanton.
Severino would have been gone. Judge would have been gone.
We would have Stanton. We would have Cole. That's about it.
Yeah, and we would have traded for Arenado 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
traded for Arenado.
I'm willing to say we'd have Bryce Harper.
100%.
Our team would be Bryce Harper, Giancarlo Stanton, Nolan Arenado, and Francisco Lindor, and that's it.
Yeah, it's all just like D-level players after that.
Yeah.
And Salvador Perez too. Can't forget about that rumor a few years ago.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Simmons too. They wanted Simmons for a while. Anderson.
Yeah, but why have Simmons when you can have Lindor?
It's true. I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating. And what a lot of people don't realize is like this core group, like the Judge, Gary, like this core, they don't have that much time left together. I hate to be that guy, but they only have like 2 seasons together before we either have to sign them to long-term extensions or let people go because we can't do both.
Judge is gonna have to get paid. Gary's gonna have to get paid around the same time.
He's gonna have to get paid, or we're gonna have to trade him.
And then Gleyber is gonna have to get paid. Very soon after that. Actually, maybe a year. I think I have like a year or 2.
Might be 2.
Hell, fucking Gio, Voit. I think
Gio's not going to be sitting in arbitration forever.
Honestly, I think Gio and Voit are pieces that can get moved. Obviously, we don't want them to, but those are replaceable guys.
At some point, the Yankees are going to have to decide if they want to contend or if they want to do the same thing they did in 2015 when they were only okay, had winning seasons, but they were only okay, and wait for guys to come up again.
Clint Frazier's going to get paid too. Somebody.
And there's only 2 more seasons left of this like core, and you're running out of time.
Yankees, and if it's not the Yankees, then the Yankees have a problem because they don't have a left fielder.
Brett Gardner's not 25 anymore.
Unless they want to bring up Florial.
They don't like Florial.
They're not going to bring him up till he's 47 years old. We know this.
They traded Estrada too.
How old is Florial now? He's got to be like 35.
Feels like it.
Yeah, right.
Probably like 23, 24.
I was going to guess even younger.
I totally forgot.
Dude, he's been in the organization forever.
Yeah.
Maybe he just feels old. I don't know.
Well, he feels old because he was like.
Yeah, no, Estevan Florial, right?
Yeah, he was our number 1 prospect when he was like 18.
22.
Yeah. Oh my God, he feels like he's freaking 47. Oh my God.
Yeah, doesn't it? It really does.
Same thing with Tyler Wade. Feels like he's 97.
Veteran of the league, Tyler Wade.
That's ridiculous. He's got to be young too. It's just ridiculous, you know.
He's probably like 25-ish.
It's probably something like that, yeah. I don't know. And the Yankees are like, they don't draft well. They never have. And it's just like at some point
we don't do.
They've gotten better.
I mean, besides Aaron Judge, that's like the only person we've drafted. And Brett Gardner, but Brett Gardner's not like I love Brett Gardner, but he's not like breaking the world, you know.
Was Gary international?
Yes.
Gary was international. Seppi was international. Betances was international. Clint Frazier was the Indians. Jason Dominguez is international. Florial is international, right?
Even then, I don't even count Florial as a good draft pick. He hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah.
Look out for Jason Dominguez, everybody. He's 17, but he'll be good.
Well, Dominguez is also international. But hell, it didn't even take Judge first time around. They had to wait to see him 4 years in college.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we did draft Garrett Cole, but you know, he went to college or whatever he did with his wife.
That's true.
But historically,
Dodgers and Padres game, because I'm sick and tired of talking about the Yankees. Christ. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was the game of the year.
I watched a solid 6 innings before it was like 12:30 on the East Coast, so I went to sleep.
You know, I always miss those game of the year games.
You do have a reputation of not watching like games that happen to be really good.
Like, let's just think about this for a second. Gonzaga and UCLA. Missed that one. Remember that Chiefs and Rams?
Oh yeah, the one that was like 50-47 or something, whatever that was. Yeah.
I don't think it was Chiefs Rams, but I know what you're talking.
I don't think it was the Rams. I know it was the Chiefs, but I don't think it was the Rams.
I think it was the Rams because I know it was in LA.
Oh,
it was maybe it was. It was when the Rams were coming off the Super Bowl. When Todd Gurley was still Todd Gurley.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Didn't you miss that one Yankees Twins game like 2 years ago? That was like 14-12.
So that
Aaron Hicks made that diving catch in center.
That game is interesting because that game didn't get interesting until like the 5th inning. I fell asleep after the 4th inning.
Yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, that one. Yeah.
That was a game of the year probably. Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Jesus. It's pretty bad.
Tyler, you should just have a like ringtone on your phone. So when I call you, it's like a game of the year ringtone. I'm like, Tyler, get on TV.
Yeah. You give him a pager.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that.
See, I was so caught up in the show last night, I couldn't turn the game on. Even if you did call me, turn this fucking game on. I was like, nah, bro.
Nah, show's out. I'm out.
Show's out.
Yeah. Eric definitely loves the show.
Eric, I was telling Frank about my lineup before you hopped on. Oof.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about at all. You talking about the video game?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do know that.
Came out yesterday.
Ooh, very nice.
First time ever on the Xbox.
Ooh, big day.
Yeah, because the freaking corporate idiots finally decided to let it out on Xbox. It's ridiculous.
Sony grew some balls. And
you guys remember they used to do like the 2K MLB, whatever they were called?
Yeah, it was MLB. Yeah, it was MLB 2K. And they did.
Show's better.
The show is the best.
So much better. It's not even close.
And then they did.
It's like NBA 2K and like NBA Live. It's like not even a comparison.
Yeah.
And they did RBI baseball, which is just.
Oh my god! Didn't even mention it.
It was fun because it was like an arcade version.
It was so bad that it was fun to play as like a joke.
But it was terrible. It was like Wii baseball. It was just so bad. It was just so bad. It was so good.
It's a good comparison.
Yeah. It's not even baseball. But this fucking game. Eric, I threw an immaculate inning last night. The first game I played, shutting this guy out. Huh?
Who was pitching?
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Shutting this guy out 3-0, allowing 5 hits through 8. Get to the 9th inning. forget who I pulled, but threw in Mo.
Oh yeah.
9 pitches later, immaculate inning, game over.
That's an
So
impressive
good.
feat. Look at that.
Sandman,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Game is over.
the amount
Lights
of
out.
joy, that brought me. It's just the game. I spent $85 on the game. The amount of joy was worth it.
Eric's face just went, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's what I said. He was texting me this morning. I was like, bro, I wish I wasn't so freaking cheap. I would buy this game in a heartbeat. He's like, Frank, please just buy it. I was like, bro, I'm like Eric, dude. I'm so cheap.
Video games are so expensive. That's the issue.
I know, bro.
I've been playing the golf one recently, and even that was like $40-something. No, what is it even? I don't even freaking know. It's the one with Justin Thomas on the cover with like the blue. I think it is 2K.
21.
That's a great game. That's very fun.
Eric, freaking golf is one sports video game of choice.
Because I'm not a big gamer. I haven't played video games in years, to be quite honest. But yeah, I really, I don't know. It's been enjoyable. It's enjoyable. A nice little individual sport. You know, you don't get mad at the fucking non-existent computers who didn't pass you the ball. It's fantastic.
Listen, whenever I respect that choice 100% because whenever I come home or get off my laptop from doing a long day of schoolwork, hop on the Xbox, load up a quick 18.
Oh yeah.
So relaxing.
It is relaxing. It really is.
Or not even that, or that also. I got NASCAR Heat too.
You're a big NASCAR Heat guy.
Oh, dude. Late night, throw some country music on Spotify.
Oh my God, so Alabama.
NASCAR Heat, just drive in circles for an hour. So great.
Frank, but the great thing is this Alabama didn't do this to Tyler. Tyler's always been like this.
Tyler went into Alabama and just like he was this already. Like exactly. Nothing changed about Tyler. He was just an Alabama kid living in Jersey.
He didn't need to conform whatsoever. He was ready.
All right. On that note, I got a football game to go to, so we're gonna wrap.
Yankees game to watch. Them suck.
Yeah, you guys have fun with that.
I will not.
Couldn't be me.
I might. Last night I literally turned on the regional coverage game, which was at that time Nats and Diamondbacks. Max pitched a gem. Love Max Scherzer. It's my guy.
All right, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you guys next week. Like and subscribe to the channel. Instagram's in the bio. We will see you next week. Adios.